Mr. President is very determined that this year would see a rapid.
National Security Governors Forum pledges to support federal government's efforts. National Assembly begins consideration of memoranda to amend Electoral Act.
It cannot just be a rocket science thing, 75 to 1 union, 25 to 3 unions.
University unions disagree over sharing formula for 40 billion naira end allowance approved by federal government. Plus, containing COVID-19 spread, Presidential Task Force announces new travel protocol. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. We are live in Abuja and I am Juma Yusuf. Adeola Kami Akere is in our Lagos studio. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with the presidency. The Nigerian Governors Forum is to collaborate more effectively with the federal government in the new year towards ensuring that President Muhammadu Buhari's promise of changing the narrative in the nation's security situation is fulfilled in the shortest time possible. Chairman of the forum and Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, stated this while briefing journalists after a strategic engagement with the President on the state of the nation and the way forward. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
I will continue to be loyal to this country. I have asked for this mandate. I got it. I must not advance any excuse for failing to perform. With the insecurity, I am extremely worried about it. Next year, it will be different. Those among the law enforcement agencies that remain in charge will be extremely busy.
That was on December 17 last year, shortly after the rescue of the abducted Kankara schoolboys in Katsina State. Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, who chairs the Nigeria Governors Forum, is here to perhaps get an update on what is in the offing as the Buhari presidency reorders priorities in the renewed battle against crime and criminality.
I can say clearly that help is on the way. Mr. President is very determined that this year would see a rapid reduction in the free access that bandits, kidnappers, criminals have had in the country. And I believe there's a whole range of strategies that he's putting in place in order to address that. I've also expressed to him the commitment of governors to step up to the plate, both in terms of providing support for our security agencies and also sensitizing our population, as well as addressing the root causes of some of these crimes in our states.
At the closed-door meeting, a number of other issues that are of interest to the governors were analyzed, including economy and the general outlook for the year 2021, especially the COVID-19 vaccine management.
I commended the Presidential Task Force for at least wanting to use Mr. President and the Vice President as their publicity vehicles for reassuring those who may have their doubts about vaccine use that this is no threat to them. You know, there are cultural, there are religious concerns in various parts, and we at the state level, we are reviewing that with all of our colleagues. So we would take a lead as well in our various states. But the good thing is Mr. President has also agreed with me that he would convey to the PTF the necessity of using other influencers, maybe the chief imams, the bishops, our top musicians, our sports personalities, because the more of such people are seen taking the vaccine, the more the likelihood of resistance will break down.
He said as far as the Governors Forum is concerned, COVID-19 is not only a health issue, but also that of security and economy. Hence, his position that the delivery of the vaccines to the country be accelerated. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has welcomed the offer of Microsoft to support the digital transformation pillar of the federal government's economic sustainability plan, which he said could be leveraged to address issues affecting the youth, especially in engaging them productively. The offer is a continuation of the technology company's investment in Nigeria after the establishment of an African Technology Development Center in 2020 to support the Buhari administration in the creation of a viable technology ecosystem in Nigeria. Vice President Osinbajo, in a virtual meeting with Microsoft Corporation team, noted the need to constantly engage with the youth, emphasizing that Nigeria's case is peculiar, given that the youth constitute a larger percentage of the country's population. Hence, the need for all stakeholders to pay more attention to that demography. The Vice President Osinbajo assured investors of the commitment of the government in creating the right environment for businesses to thrive. Microsoft team leader Brad Smith noted that his company's vision for investment in Nigeria was one that would lead to the creation of Africa's most viable technology ecosystem. From the legislature, the National Assembly Joint Technical Committee on the Independent National Electoral Commission and Electoral Matters is working to ensure that the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2020 is passed by the end of the first quarter of 2021. The 2010 Electoral Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill seeks, among others, issues to provide legal backing on the use of card readers and other technologies in Nigeria's electoral process. Ignatius Nko reports.
On the 9th of December 2020, the National Assembly Joint Committee on Independent National Electoral Commission held a public hearing on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Few days after, it inaugurated a technical committee. The technical committee has commenced consideration of inputs contained in more than 24 written memoranda made by members of the public.
This committee is, to look at the act clause by clause with a view to taking in all the views of Nigerians.
There is no doubt that we have more than enough valuable inputs from Nigerians for consideration to this enactment of this act.
It is quite clear that this commitment is unanimous on all sides to ensure that we do have a new electoral act in place.
Bill passage involves collaboration with relevant institutions. Therefore, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice and that of the Independent National Electoral Commission are significant members of the technical committee.
Nigerian democracy and electoral process will become more robust and more resilient if the critical stakeholders in the process resolve to return sovereignty to the Nigerian people as the sole determinants of regime affirmation and change.
I wish to reiterate once again the Honorable Attorney General's commitment to work closely with the National Assembly to ensure the prompt review of these bills once they are forwarded to the President.
What you're doing today is potentially very historic, and the UK is proud to be supporting it. It underlines Nigeria's place as the largest democracy in Africa.
The amendment also provides that funds for the conduct of general elections shall be released to the Independent National Electoral Commission not later than 180 days to the appointed date for the elections. Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news making the rounds as the federal government has appealed to Nigerians to be patient with the ongoing road construction across the country due to discomfort being experienced daily. Director of Highways Construction and Rehabilitation at the Federal Ministry of Works, Funsho Adibi, said this while on an assessment visit to Abuja, Kaduna, Kano projects. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
The ever-busy Abuja-Kaduna-Kano 375 kilometers dual carriageway and commenced work in 2018 to ease traffic flow with a completion period of 36 months. Several factors resulted in the review of the project, which led to its slow pace. Appreciable percentage of more than 100 kilometers have been completed under 3 sections of the project. Leader of the delegation expressed satisfaction with the pace of work being done.
They have done quite some kilometers. From Kaduna to Zaria, they have done quite some. And you will see them in the report we saw in the course of our journey. From Zaria to Kano, we have seen significant progress. The only thing is that we want them completed it earlier than they planned.
He says, although some sections of the road are at different levels of completion, which are being critically bad, appealing to road users to be patient as government is committed to deliver a project that will stand the test of time. It is expected that the project will be completed before the end of year 2023. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The federal government has expended more than 2 billion naira for the establishment of a satellite campus of the Nigeria Institute of Transport Technology in Dawakin-Kudu, Kano State, as part of measures to modernize and enhance training in the transport sector in line with global best practices. Mohammed Rabiu Ali again reports.
The center, which was conceived 4 years ago, is designed to complement the Nigeria Institute of Transport Technology, Zaria, in manpower production and transfer technology, as well as research in the transport sector. It consists of administrative block, technical section, simulator rooms, classes, among other facilities. Inspecting the project, the Director General, NITT, Bayero Salihi Farah, said, federal government is committed to creating an enabling environment for transport sector to remain a key player in the nation's economy. He says the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology is repositioned to produce competent manpower in the sector.
Our institute is mandated to provide training to Nigerians working in the transport and logistics industry. We have trained thousands of Nigerians in this regard. I'm proud to say that many transport organizations across the country at state levels and at federal levels have our trainees at high positions now.
The project, when inaugurated, will accommodate students from Northwest and some part of the neighboring African countries. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Still on infrastructure, former Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, has tasked government at all levels to learn from one another good examples of socio-economic development. Ogidi Inyokere reports that this was during the inauguration of Abonema Ring Road in Akukutoro local government area of River State.
Now, the road leading to Abonema, headquarters of Akukutoro, can best be described as a one-way in and out, making vehicular movements within the community and environs challenging. With the construction of the Abonema Ring Road and its expansion by the River State government, the people now have an alternative route to access the community. Governor Wike noted that the people of Akukutoro have always supported the state government and worked as a team.
Our own is not to develop others without developing our own people. I'm happy with the contractor that he completed this work, and I have to assure him that we will also continue to patronize him so that he will be able to employ more Rivers people. Having done so, the next thing for us is to fulfill so they can have land to build.
Senator Ike Ekweremadu commended the numerous developmental strides of Governor Wike.
What they are doing in River State and bringing people here is not, as I said, to show that you are working, but let us see if other parts of this country will get inspired and see that this can happen, and then they can go home and do exactly what they are doing in River State.
Ekweremadu says the spread of projects across the state by the government promotes peace, progress, equity, and justice in Abonema, Akutoro Council area. Ogedinye Kwere, NTA News.
Now, registration for national identity number may resume on Monday following meetings between the National Identity Management Commission's management and union leaders. Our Joseph Johnson waited at the door to bring us the latest on the issue.
The Director General, said that the enrollment process will resume today. But of course, from what we are seeing here, that is yet to play out. We understand that meetings are still being held to that effect. I have with me here the chairman of the union, Lucky Asekokai, to just brief us on the latest. Could you tell us what's the latest concerning the strike?
As you can see, I'm just coming back from the meeting, because yesterday I was called upon for a meeting by the management. We were there till around 8 o'clock. They wanted me to take a decision with them yesterday. I said no, that our mother body are involved, the TUC are involved in this, that they should allow the negotiations to continue. Thank God we are just coming back from a meeting. We have agreed to step down the action while work resume fully on the 11th of January 2021. That is on Monday.
Still to come, activities forming part of 2021 Armed Forces Remembrance Day continues with Jumat prayers. These and more after the break.
JJ has always been my father's hero. So this year, I wanted to do something really special. If I could just talk to JJ, I'm sure he would remember Dad. Mom says never give up. Hello JJ, it's me Victor. My dad's birthday is coming up soon and I want to surprise him. And she was right. I have been looking for you everywhere. Please help me.
Hi Samuel, happy birthday, it's JJ. Happy birthday to my man.
My dad is my hero, but now JJ is too.
The best data plans in town. Find your first. Dial *777# Glow.
The Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria, FRIN, located in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, has been repositioned for better service delivery to its teeming clients across the globe. The institute remains undoubtedly as a foremost research center of excellence with respect to knowledge-based forestry activities, as measured by the acquired scientific breakthrough. FRIN has demonstrated that youths, women and retirees can make millions of naira practicing low-capital agriculture. These include cane, rat, rabbit, and snail farming with returns on investments regularly. Added to its feathers is a certification by NAFDAC to the FRIN C-Tone Herbal Mixture and Remedy for the management of COVID-19 related ailments as immune booster. The institute is recognized by several international agencies. Recently, it got approval for 3 biosphere reserves in Nigeria by the UNESCO, MAB, and ICC. FRIN has come to stay. The future is very bright in making the forest profitable.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
Thanks for joining us. The honest prayers of Nigerians for the success of the armed forces in winning the war against the multifaceted security challenges is required as a motivation to do better. This from the thrust of the 2021 Armed Forces Remembrance Day Special Jumat sermon delivered by the Chief Imam of the Abuja National Mosque, Sheikh Muhammad Kabir Adam. Abdullah Ajia reports.
Unity and progress the country enjoys, the Imam Sheikh Muhammad Kabir Adam notes, is tied to the success of the armed forces who fight all forms of criminalities and threats to keep the country together. As a result of this, the cleric enjoins worshippers to use the occasion of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day to continue to encourage the living and fallen heroes through endless prayers.
They protected the sovereignty of our nation. We also pray for those who lost their lives in the course of their duty. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on them.
Government on its part says the welfare of the armed forces remains a priority.
The nation always remember the historic duties to the nation, and we shall never forget them at any stage we find ourselves. Their welfare, comfort, and anything that the family of the bereaved would require is well provided by the army, and we will continue to do that.
The special Jumat prayer, attended by government functionaries, members of the National Assembly, service chiefs, diplomatic corps, among others, provided an avenue to re-emphasize the certainty of the glorious Quran, which says the truth will always prevail over evil, as prayers for the continued peace and unity of the country was offered. Abdullah Ajia, NTA News.
Now talking security, the Directorate of Defense Media Operations DMO says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has inflicted heavy casualties on Boko Haram terrorists in the Sambisa Forest area of Borno State, destroying their hideouts in Alagano, including a compound housing some high-value Boko Haram leaders. DMO Coordinator Major General John Enete says the compound concealed under thick vegetation and located 2.3 kilometers northeast of Kaffa was being used by terrorists to coordinate nefarious activities. The destruction of the locations was achieved through multiple airstrikes executed on 6 January 2021 as the Air Task Force dispatched Nigeria Air Force attack aircraft to engage the target areas in day and night raids, leading to the neutralization of the terrorists. The Armed Forces of Nigeria says it will not relent until all enemies of the nation are neutralized and normalcy is restored to all troubled zones. And following a credible intelligence, troops of Operation World Stroke in the early hours of 7 January 2021 successfully conducted a rescue operation at Mararaba Udegi in Nasarawa local government area of Nasarawa State, rescuing 3 kidnapped persons. A statement by the Coordinator Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enete, indicates that one of the bandits was eliminated in the battle that ensued. Major General Enete notes that the armed forces will not relent until all enemies of the country are neutralized and normalcy is restored to all troubled zones. In an effort to combat smuggling, irregular migration and other crimes along Nigeria's borders following the reopening of the borders, the Operation Swift Response launched in August 2019 and coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor has transformed into Nigeria's Joint Border Patrol Team as part of a tripartite operation comprising Nigeria, Niger and Benin Republic. In a statement by the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Customs Service, Joseph Atta, who is also the spokesperson of the Joint Patrol, the National Security Advisor Baba Gana Mongono emphasized that the Joint Border Patrol would be adequately administered and employed the team to remain uncompromising. Atta further stated that a year and 4 months into the operation, 1,401 21 irregular migrants have been arrested, while seized items have been valued at 12,538,333,545 naira and 50 kawa. Now, the Kaduna State government has declared as false and misleading the story making the rounds alleging that the helicopter supply arms to gunmen at certain locations in Zaria local government area of the state. A statement by the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, urges citizens to disregard the story. Security operatives, he says, are following up on the origin of the fake story, adding that Kaduna State government remains committed to working with relevant agencies for peace and security. Aruwan also advised the people to support government's effort by volunteering useful information to security agencies and avoid spreading false and unverified reports. As schools in Akwa Ibom State resume for the concluding part of the first term of 2022-2021 academic year, education administrators have pledged intensive academic activities to cover up for lost time while strictly adhering to the COVID-19 precautions. A visit to some of the schools in the state capital reveals that both government and private schools have made provisions for safety materials and are intensifying efforts to ensure compliance. Ifoma Ahioji has details.
Just the beginning of the school, we had to do a lot of practicals in biology, chemistry, and physics. School was interesting and I learned so much things in school today.
We were taught so many subjects while observing the COVID-19 measures, so it was safe and it was also very fun.
These children are not just vibrant in their academic programs, they are also very cautious of their health while in school, especially in the face of the second wave of COVID-19.
We wore our face masks and we did social distancing.
So we can't touch anyone physically.
And we don't shake or hug, we fist bump with each other.
We have to keep that because we don't want to catch the COVID-19.
For teachers and administrators, safety of the children is paramount, hence the commitment to providing adequate preventive materials with intense supervision to ensure compliance among pupils and students.
As they come in, they wash their hands. As they go into their classes, all the children have their personal hand sanitizer, and our teachers are also wearing their shields to ensure that transmission does not go from any staff.
The junior sections will come to school on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Then the senior sections will come to school on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays so that we can maintain social distancing.
Meanwhile, some stakeholders are calling on government to make provisions for more classroom blocks in public schools to reduce the number of children assigned to a class. In Uyo, Ifoma Aikoje, NTA News.
Now, the expectation by parents to see their children resume school on January 18th, 2021 after a prolonged university strike may suffer another setback as the non-teaching staff of universities have rejected the 75% sharing formula announced by ASU, leaving the three other unions, NASU, SANU and NAT, with 25% of the 40 billion naira approved as earned allowance by government. The non-academic staff union of educational and associated institutions at a media briefing in Abuja wants the sharing formula to reflect resolutions reached with government directing all the unions in the university to work with Accountant General's office to determine what should be given to each union based on forensic audit earlier carried out by government to find out what each union has received so far.
Over time, the way government had been releasing the money is that the biggest chunk has always gone to ASU. So we knew that because they were getting the biggest chunks of what was being released, their members must have been collecting something reasonable from what they are being owed. You should be able to say that because the members of Union A is owed so much, they get so much. And what remains is so much. Union B, what has been paid to their members out of what is owed is so much. It remains so much. And from what remains, you are giving so much from this release. ditto for Union C, ditto for Union D. It cannot just be a rocket science thing, 75 to 1 union, 25 to 3 unions.
NASU Secretary General says since 2013, when the first release of the earned allowance was done transparently with each union happy with what it got, subsequent sharing has been lopsided in favor of a particular union. Now, Adeola in our Lagos studio has the next set of reports. Adeola, good evening.
Being arrested in connection with the issuance of fake COVID-19 test results. The Director General of the Nigeria Institute of Medical Research, NIMR, disclosed this while reacting to a media publication on alleged sharp practices at the institute. Kende Adebisi reports.
On Tuesday, the 29th of December 2020, a media organization aired a news item on alleged sharp practices going on at the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, one of the approved drive-through centers for COVID-19 tests. Following investigation by the institute, it was discovered that 2 persons allegedly involved are neither staff nor agents of the institute. The DG, NIMR Professor Babatunde Salako, said their confession revealed that they have been visiting the facility under the guise of coming for COVID-19 tests and in the process made away with COVID-19 testing request forms belonging to the institute, which they use to fabricate fake results to the unsuspecting public.
The suspects by names Enoch Basian and Vesin Binra were caught in the act while they were trying to do COVID-19 tests for one of our staff who acted as dummy patient at the front of a bank at Solo, Lagos.
Another 2 individuals, a staff of the institute in charge of the testing request form, the DG said is currently being investigated, while a security man who granted interview to the media agency is at large. Professor Salako, who stressed the need for a balanced reportage, said that all COVID-19 test results are sent electronically via the institute's official email, and any results issued by other sources should be disregarded and reported to appropriate authorities. The DG reassured the public of the institute's unreserved commitment towards the discharge of its mandate. In Lagos, Kende Adebisi, NTA News.
Now let's talk infrastructure. The Federal Ministry of Work and Housing has ordered the immediate closure of the Airport Road Link Bridge following the recent tanker fire accident at Toyota along the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway. Dr. Guyemi reports.
Yet another tanker fire accident has put Lagos in the news. The latest incident, which comes barely a week into the new year, has left ongoing road rehabilitation along a 200-meter stretch from Toyota bus stop along the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway in dire need of recasting of concrete works on the road surface and median barricades. The accident also caused to question the integrity of one of the pillars holding the airport link bridge in place.
Yesterday, the bridge was barricaded, but unfortunately, this morning it has been removed. So we are appealing to the public to please desist from doing so because it's very risky. We don't know the condition of this bridge by now.
With the closure, motorists are to be diverted through Ladipo, but the state government is concerned about the activities of residents along the axis.
In Mushi, there's a bypass, Alaji Akinwi. Last year we commissioned that road. It's a rigid pavement, it's a road, so if we block this, we'll try to create the alternative route and see what we can do to relieve people and bust out. We will keep doing, but if you go there now, that's what I'm saying, people must take responsibility and ownership. That road was done last year in rigid pavement. If you go in there, half of the road is filled with refuse. It's filled with refuse, it's filled with engines from the motor part sellers.
The federal and state government also renewed calls to enforce relevant road laws, especially as it concerns roadworthiness and movement of articulated vehicles. In Lagos, Dr. Ukuyemi, NTA News.
And we're done from here. The news will continue after this break. To stay with us.
Are you ready
for this?
Let me hear you, AJ. Give me some bass.
That good for you?
Nice, AJ. Bring it up. Double it.
I was born hungry for success. It's the Nigerian way. Glow gets it. Champions stay hungry. Oh yeah. Glow gets it big time. One more for sure. Champions go the distance and then go further. Glow, the heart of a champion.
For over 70 years, we've practiced healthy hygiene habits together. The world needs us to keep our fight going against germs. So let's wash our hands for 20 seconds regularly. Dettol. Protect what's worth fighting for.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
You're welcome back. The Magistrate Court sitting in Abuja has declined to deliver ruling on the bail application filed by the convener of the Revolution Now protest, Omoyole Sowore, and 4 others challenging their remand in custody by the Nigerian Police Force. Olabode Ariwa reports that this is sequel to the transfer of the case file from the police to the office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, in line with the law of the land.
In line with Section 174 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, the Attorney General of the Federation has the power to institute, take over, and continue or discontinue any criminal proceedings against a person before any court in Nigeria. This constitutional power is what the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice has exercised in this matter. Ruling on the bail application by Sowore and the 4 other defendants was initially slated for this Friday. However, after waiting unsuccessfully for some time for the police to bring the defendants from the first CID where they were being kept, the Defense Counsel, Marshal Abubakar, informed the media that the court has mandated that the defendants must first be produced before it could sit to deliver ruling on their bail application.
So far to this morning, there's been nothing from the office of the DPP. So the judge has requested that the defendants in this particular matter be brought to court for them to listen to the conditions of bail.
Omoyele Sowore, Peter Williams, Juwon Sanyolu, Emmanuel Bulus, and Damilare Adeola are facing 3 counts charge of alleged conspiracy, unlawful assembly, and incitement of the public when they embarked on a protest on New Year's Eve in the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja or Labodarewa. NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Justice has put on hold the proposed mobilization and interview of 5,000 candidates by the NDLEA, which had been slated to commence in jails on Sunday, the 10th of this month. A statement by the ministry said that although the exercise is long overdue for the NDLEA to actualize its mandate, the mobilization of 5,000 applicants at this time has to be put on hold pending clarification and advice sought by the Minister of Justice from the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 on the public health implications of such an exercise of gathering 5,000 candidates in JAS. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has announced an update of its protocols for travelers coming into Nigeria. In a tweet, the PTF notes that with effect from 11th January 2021, all incoming travelers must undergo a COVID-19 PCR test not earlier than 4 days or 96 hours before boarding, while emphasizing that test validity period commences from the time the sample was taken at the country of departure. Travelers must also show proof of payment for the mandatory post-arrival COVID-19 test before boarding or leaving the country of initial departure. With this updated protocol, travelers with PCR tests done more than 4 days or 96 hours before departure will not be allowed to board. No airline coming to Nigeria is therefore allowed to board any passenger that has not paid for a post-arrival PCR test using the Nigerian travel portal. Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is being repositioned as a competitive global player in line with the transparency posture of the Buhari administration. On assumption of office as the 19th GMD of NNPC, Mele colloquially declares that it cannot be business as usual. True to his resolve, positive changes have become the hallmark of the national oil company. Lydia Sampson reports.
In line with President Muhammadu Buhari's position towards repositioning the NNPC as a world-class national oil and gas company accountable to Nigerians, the NNPC is taking its transparency, accountability and performance excellence mantra higher. The NNPC published its 2018 and 2019 audited financial statements. A feat key players say validates its enlistment as a partner company of the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative.
This company must deliver dividend, and you cannot deliver dividend except you do things in world-class way.
To keep NNPC's over 200 million shareholders abreast of its activities, the corporation has been more proactive in engaging her partners and saw the COVID-19 pandemic as an opportunity to utilize its leadership position in the Nigerian oil and gas industry to rally all stakeholders in the upstream, midstream and downstream sectors to raise 21 billion in support of the federal and state governments.
We have practically given a ventilator materials to every state of the federation and an ambulance to every state of the federation, and we're also constructing permanent structure in at least 14 states of the federation.
The resilience, improved performance and resolve for excellence of the NNPC is also being felt at the pump by Nigerians with zero fuel queues. NNPC's upstream flagship company, the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company (NPDC), through the integrated gas handling facility and the LPG processing and dispensing plant, sets a new threshold.
This project will create hundreds of direct and indirect employment opportunities for our team and youth.
This is a corridor that will create a lot of opportunities for Nigerians.
Earlier in the year 2020, the final investment decision of Train 7 was signed and the Ajakuta-Kaduna-Kanu gas pipeline was inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari. All these projects are steadily on course. Though still work in progress, the national oil company, experts say, is steadily on the path of global competitiveness as long as the giant strides are sustained. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The holistic approach to developing infrastructure and maintaining peace in Nigeria by the Buhari administration is evident in the Niger Delta region. This is the position of Niger Delta Support Group for Buhari while addressing journalists in Abuja to thank President Buhari for his unflinching interest and unwavering persuasion in the overall development of the country and the Niger Delta region from 2015 till date. The group acknowledged the reforms in the Niger Delta Development Commission and expressed confidence that the new leadership of the Commission is capable to transform and promote government desire of prudent management of resources.
Right from its 2015 presidential flag-off in Port Harcourt, River State, and in the 2019 presidential campaign flag-off, in his speeches at these events, he made promises to the people of Nigeria and the Niger Delta that if voted into power, that the development of the region will be of utmost priority in his administration. With these promises, the Niger Delta region has the ministerial portfolios of some of the key ministries in the president's administration.
Time for another break. We'll be right back.
Una don hear say dem dey rape about 35% of them girl pikin, and even them women sef. Some of them dey even die in the process. Emotional trauma unko, e dey make some of them be like say they no dey this world again, they don go, but they still dey live like ghosts. Some of them, shame don kuku make them go kill theirself. E no good oh. This no be our culture. E no fit be the African way. Why we can't allow this kind yeye thing join body with us so that e loud well. If you know they fear law wey man put, you know they fear Baba God there. You sef, you where they cover mouth when you see mini wana they happen. You know why here when the Oyibo talk say problem where they bring come out, they solve am sharply. Remember, person wey fit rape, if it kill person oh, if it be you, if it be your pikin, if it be person them where you love well. So make we learn they carry women then, like diamond where we be. No grief for rape oh.
What would have been catastrophic by way of fire outbreak was averted at Elibrada community in Mohia local government area of River State as a gas pipeline belonging to Agib Oil Company exploded in the late hours of Wednesday. Robinson Terra today reports that government and concerned agencies were at the scene of the incident to prevent further damage.
The pipeline is a 36 GTS 4 gas delivery line from Rumuji through Elibrada to the Bonny Export Terminals, reportedly installed in 2006. The excavation around the pipeline and some sophisticated equipment discovered indicates that it might be a third-party sabotage. There are insinuations also that the saboteurs may have been searching for PMS, only to discover gas and allowed it to explode to save their lives.
This is raw gas. Everywhere we are covered, even up to the community where people live, we are covered with smell of gas. People were closing their mouth with their wrapper and everything.
We could not come because of the noise we are hearing from this side of the farm road. We are peace-abiding people. We are pleading that government should come and rectify this thing.
The inability of the company to clear the right-of way of the pipeline may have given easy access to the illegal operation.
We've cordoned the area to make sure that further damages do not occur. They are lucky that there was no fire explosion.
Officials of the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency and other concerned agencies were on ground for investigation. From Elibrada in River State, Robinson Delatede, NTA News.
As the attack on the Capitol building in the United States of America continues to send shockwaves down the spine of Nigerians, President Donald Trump has called for an end to violence and pledges smooth transfer of power after Capitol riot. Joyce Emetu has an update on the aftermath of the attacks.
US President Donald Trump said he will not attend the inauguration of his successor, Democratic President-elect Joe Biden, on January 20th. He said in a tweet on Friday, hours after promising the peaceful transition of power. Trump offered no clues for how he would spend his final hours in office and will be the first incumbent president since 1869 to skip his successor's swearing in. Traditionally, the incoming and outgoing presidents ride to the U.S. Capitol together for the ceremony as a symbol of the nation's peaceful transition. Vice President Mike Pence is still expected to attend the inauguration. In the wake of Wednesday's assault on the Capitol, a growing number of Trump officials are questioning their roles in his administration, some going as far as resigning from their positions. Transportation Secretary Elaine Keogh was the first of Trump's cabinet secretaries to announce she was resigning, and Education Secretary Betsy DeVos followed hours later. Dr. Eleanor McCombs, the Assistant Secretary for Mental Health and Substance Use, also resigned. Resultantly, U.S. Capitol Police Police Chief Stephen Sand is resigning amid criticisms of the department's response to the protests. Reports say Sand's resignation will go into effect on January 16, just a few days into President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. Meanwhile, a U.S. Capitol Police officer has died of injuries sustained during clashes with supporters of President Trump. U.S. Capitol Police in a statement said that the officer Brian Sicknick had sustained injuries while physically engaging with protesters during Wednesday's riots. He is the 5th person to die because of the scuffle. Joyce Ometu, NTA News.
Golden Eaglets face Black Starlets in Wafu Under-17 Championship in Togo. Details on our Sports Update.
Welcome to Sports Update. I am Badi Adeleye. We begin with talent discovery and development. As the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development says, it remains committed to hosting the National Youth Games this year. The annual event could not hold in the year 2020 due to the coronavirus pandemic, but the Director of Grassroots Sports Development in the Ministry, Ademola Are, says the NYG is next in line after the National Sports Festival built for February.
The lives of the youth are very important, so we are hoping that COVID-19 will really enable us to do what we are supposed to do.
To football now, the Nigeria Professional Football League enters match day 3 this weekend, with Akwa United hosting Abia Warriors in Saturday's sole match. On Sunday, MFMFC and Sunshine Stars go head-to-head. Champions Plateau United host Heartland, while Lord leaders Nasarawa United welcome Kano Pillars to the Lafia Township Stadium. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Football Federation has challenged the national under-17 football team, the Golden Eaglets, to go for victory against their Ghanaian opponents at the Wafu B Under-17 Championship in Togo on Saturday. Coach Fatah Amo's boys, after losing their first group game, must beat the Black Starlets to stand a chance of progressing beyond the group stage. And NFF President Amaju Pinnick has charged the team to show their strong winning mentality against their West African rivals. And finally, Formula 1 giants Mercedes are confident that reigning world drivers champion Lewis Hamilton will sign a contract extension. Reports claim that the 7-time world champion has made a list of demands which is holding up the deal. And that will be all on Sports Update. I am Badi Adeleye.
Thank you, Badi. President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with family of former Minister of Aviation and 12th Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Nsekak Abasi Essien Uduak, describing his death as a huge loss to the nation, particularly all those he inspired and mentored in tactical air operations. In a statement, the President joins the military in mourning the passing of the highly decorated former officer who spent more than 2 decades updating his pilot skills in the United Kingdom, United States and former Soviet Union, returning to the country to share his experience with colleagues and younger officers. President Buhari also commiserates with government and people of Akwa Ibom State, friends and associates of the deceased, affirming that he lived a life of service to the nation and humanity with distinguished results in all endeavors. The death has been announced of Barrister Esther Uzoma, who passed on Wednesday, January 6th in Abuja. Until her untimely death, she was the convener of the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room, National Coordinator of Proactive Gender Initiatives, PGI, and an Abuja-based legal practitioner. Burial arrangement is to be announced after due consultation with the family. That's Network News for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Do have a wonderful weekend and remember to be safe.